A client asked me, how do we know if we have the right prices for a market? And the answer is with testing. You don't know unless you test. And your customers can tell you that your prices are too expensive in your post-purchase survey, but unless you have clearly split tested lower price point on your website and clearly identified that lower prices do convert better for you, you can never be 100% sure. The good thing is that nowadays with tools like Intelligems, you can now run multiple price tests at the same time in different markets. And so I did exactly just that for my client on the 4 markets that they sell to, which are the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia. And to be honest, the results were quite surprising, which I'm going to show you in a minute. The first one is in Australia. And as we can see, I did a technique that is called the straddle, where we have the original price, a lower price point, and a more expensive price. Here I tested with -3 Australian dollar and +3 Australian dollar. As we can see, the uplift was driven by the increase in prices. Apparently the market reacted better to the increase in price. The AOV went up, but not too much, just 1%, and the conversion rate by 4%, which gives us this beautiful 5% increase. And we can have a look at the trend, and as you can see, it's been pretty consistent for the past 15 days. We have always red line that is above the 2 others, which really do confirms that the increase in prices is what works best in Australia for this brand. And here we have a clear breakdown where we can see the conversion rate went from 1.98 to 2.06, and the AOV went up a little bit. So beautiful test to illustrate that you never know unless you test your prices. So here, what I will do in the future is actually test again, run iterations where I increase the prices even more to see up to which threshold we can go and keep a stable balance between conversion rate and AOV. Because you will see with the other test, sometimes the increase or decrease in AOV is impacting in a negative way the conversion rate, and so it's just not working. So for the Australian market, the increase is working. Now let's see the next test. This one is in pounds for the UK, and here it's pretty interesting. It's the lower price point that is working better. As you can see, we have a uplift of 4% in the conversion rate. We are going from 2.84 to 2.95. However, the AOV hasn't gone down too much, less than 1%, which gives us this plus 3% increase in revenue per visitor. Here the trend again slightly different, but as you can see, since July 29th it has been pretty consistent. We pretty much always have the -£2 over the 2 other lines. The reason why I did -£2 and +£2 and on the other markets I did +3 is because I first tested with +3 and it was just negative on both segments. So then I tried with a lower gap, and this time it's working better. And so here, as we look at the breakdown, we can see that clearly it's the decrease in price that is really driving the uplift in conversion rate, and the AOV doesn't move much. Now on the flip side, if we look at the Canadian market, it's the opposite. We don't have an uplift in conversion rate with a lower price point. However, having lower price point pushed Canadians to add more products to their cart, which in turn actually increased the AOV. And so we have a revenue per visitor increase that is quite similar to the one in the UK, but with a different picture. Here, however, the trend has been pretty inconsistent. As you can see, there are many points where the lines are crossing, and it's an indicator that if we run the test for long enough, usually from what I'm seeing with my test, it ends up being a break-even test. So this one here, I'm going to be running it for a bit longer, even though we already have more than 1,000 orders in each group. As we can see though, both of the groups have an increase in revenue per visitor, right? But it's really the one with the -3 Canadian dollar that is driving the most, the AOV plus 5%. So this is again a good example to to prove that you have to test your prices and see how the market is reacting, especially if you segment the market. As you can see, very different picture between the UK and Canada. And also, as you can see in Australia, people responded better to higher price points, but in those two markets, it's actually the opposite. And now the most surprising of all four is the US. I first tested -$3 and +$3, and then I realized that the -3 USD was driving the uplift, but a small uplift. And then I was like, let's increase the gap and see if the trend is confirmed, and it's absolutely confirmed. So we can see we have almost no change in AOV, maybe -1%. When conversion rate, we have plus almost 6% increase. So going from a 2.35 to almost 2.5% in conversion rate. Here the trend is incredible, like it hasn't changed for the past 10 days. Always the orange line above the two others. So we can clearly say that the confidence here that the lower price point will be beating the two other group is very high. It's 100%. So here we can see the breakdown, and here I was really surprised. I thought that the United States, that this market would react better to a higher price point, but this is actually quite the opposite, right? Like higher prices are actually converting less and the AOV isn't moving much. So it's actually lowering prices that do increase the net revenue and the conversion rate and revenue per visitor. So yeah, just to end this video, I just want to say test your prices and split test by market. You never know unless you test, and if you're not doing any test and you want some help with this, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be really glad to help you. Thanks for watching. Please, if you liked it, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this, and I wish you a good weekend and see you in the next one. Cheers.